Let's do our Charlotte's Web comprehension questions 8 through 14 together right now. So you should have 2 pages, numbers 8 through 11, and then 12 through 14. We're going to do these together. Hopefully you already have some ideas written down on your paper. So number 8 says, what did Wilbur ask of Templeton and what was his initial response? Do you remember? Wilbur asked Templeton to go get Charlotte's egg sack so that Wilbur could take it back with him to the barn. And Templeton did not want to help, but Wilbur told him, oh, this is something different. He felt everyone always asked favors of him, but no one ever showed appreciation or had a kind remark for him. Thus, he was not very concerned about the egg sack and went back to laying down in the straw. Yes, Templeton felt very neglected. And then Wilbur, this is number 9. I was getting ahead of myself. What did Wilbur promise Templeton in order to get him to help? And that's a really easy one. I'll read you the choices first. He will let him eat first. He can tell the barn he bit Wilbur's tail. He can have his medal, or he can befriend Fern. And of course, it's the food, right? He let him eat first. That was the most important thing to Templeton. How did Wilbur carry the precious cargo back to the barn? Do you remember that? Was it on top of his tongue, on the tip of his tail, in the flap of his ear, or on top of his nose? It was the most uncomfortable one of those, wasn't it? On top of his tongue, in his mouth. That was the safest spot. How did Wilbur say goodbye to Charlotte? With a tear, with a wink, with a wave, or with a kiss? It was actually with a wink because his mouth was full. He had the egg sack in his mouth. What occurred one sunny spring morning and how did Wilbur react? One sunny spring morning, Wilbur noticed something move in Charlotte's egg sack, and suddenly little gray and tan spiders began crawling out of the sack and waving. He was very excited and he made a small speech greeting them. He said he was a friend of their mothers and assuring the babies all was okay. You don't have to write all of that. You can say he saw that the eggs were hatching and he told them he was their friend. When a warm updraft filled the barn, what event took place and why did that sadden Wilbur? So if you remember, one morning when a warm updraft filled the barn, the baby spiders let out a cloud of silk. They parachuted into the air and left the barn, and Wilbur was sad because he thought he would be alone with no friends. But what word did Wilbur hear coming from the doorway one late afternoon? He heard salutations. And what happened and what did this mean for Wilbur? And you know that 3 of Charlotte's children decided to stay at the barn because they liked it and they liked Wilbur. As time went on, Charlotte's legacy lived on because a couple of her descendants always stayed at the barn. And for Wilbur, that meant he was never without a friend. So that was a wonderful ending to our book. You'll hear it tomorrow, but you guys saw the movie, so I know that you know how Charlotte's Web ends. Maybe this will excite you and you want to watch the last chapter right now. It's up to you, but I hope you have a great day.